is Sherman with Highland Park Lapidary, and in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble your EverClean. Now we've made a change on how we're shipping out EverCleans. So if you look at this EverClean down here, you'll note that I have the drum there on the side, and then here's the EverClean itself. And I want to explain a little bit what's happening. You'll see that black in there. That is a epoxy coating that we put in here. We haven't really found a epoxy coating that we like over in the China side, so this is actually a product that I get here domestically, two-part epoxy, and it resists any kind of mineral oil. Now if you run something that has a solvent, that could strip it out, and of course, you know, that would be something you don't want to run. You want to run a pure mineral oil, not recycled oil, things like that. Look to our website for more videos, but that seals any potential little tiny holes that might be in the casting. You'll note this is powder coated, but we just put an extra amount there. Now you know right in the center, this is your motor shaft. There is no seal per se. You'll see there's a dam around here, and this dam keeps the oil from getting into the motor. You'll note there's a hole here on this side. This is the port, so when I go to tighten up my set screws, I put my Allen wrench in here, and that allows me to tighten the drum onto the motor shaft, and there's the drum, of course, as Hannah showed you. So assembling this is pretty straightforward. The key thing you want to pay attention is you don't want to put the drum down too far. So when we assemble this, we're actually going to put the drum in, paying attention through this hole right here, paying attention to the hole until the set screw lines up, and that actually sets the appropriate depth. So why don't you move the camera over here, and we're just going to assemble this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my drum. First thing I want to look at in the drum is I want to make sure that my set screws are backed out of the way, and you'll see that they are. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to position the motor shaft, because I don't want to put a set screw into this keyway slot. You'll note the keyway slot I've positioned this way. And then I'm going to line those two set screws up so they actually are facing the other way. So I'm going to face them this way and that way. Slip my drum down there. It doesn't have to be super precise. I just don't like putting the set screw in the slot, the keyway slot. And once you got your motor here, you're just kind of basically pushing down on it a little bit to slip it down in there. It's a snug fit. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to put my headlight on. It helps to have a headlight like this, because what I want to do is I want to look through that hole, and I'm looking to see when my set screw lines up, and I'm going to have to come down a little bit more. So I always like using a little hammer like this on my knee. Just do not do this. Do not do that. You risk damaging the shaft. I'm going right in the center, just tapping this down just ever so slightly. I don't want to overshoot. And I'm looking through my hole to see where I can see the set screws. And look at that, perfectly lined up. You can't really see that in the camera, but I'm at the perfect height here. Put my Allen wrench in, you'll notice that that's fitting without any binding. I might go down just a hair bit more on that. Just for reference, we'll give you a measurement off the top, which would probably be helpful for you. So here I've kind of got a little piece, and this looks like I'm about a half inch, in fact, exactly a half inch down for that. So that's a good position there. Then I'm going to just slightly turn this, get in my hole again. Oh, I think I popped out here initially. There I am. Finding the hole can be a little tricky because you have to rotate. All right, there we go. There we go. And I'm going to snug it, but I'm not going crazy with it. It's got literally no force in it, so don't tighten the hell out of the set screws, because the risk that you have there is you'll distort. It's aluminum, so you don't want to risk damaging the casting, if that makes sense. And get my other set screw there. There we go. Place. And there, my drum is mounted here. Now the other thing you'll note here on the drum, you also want to pay attention to this lid is centered. So you should have consistent space side to side on the lid, because if the lid is slightly off, it can cause a little bit of vibration. This one actually, I would center it up just a hair bit more. It's slightly to this side. And you can do that when you tighten those screws down on the lid. Your can, of course, will ship on the inside here. We'll have the can installed. But then that's it. Then, of course, you've got your main lid here that you'll position this for where your hose comes out and heads to the back. And then, of course, the 2 thumb screws go right in there. So that's the basic deal to assemble it. It's not difficult. Basically, this wrench, we're sending you an Allen key. So you'll get a little Allen key that we send you. You'll just need, I'm sorry, not a wrench, a hammer, should I say. And then, of course, you know, some kind of flat measurement thing to get you close enough. I think it's slightly less than a 1/2 inch. I noticed my set screw slightly lower. Again, it's not something you have to be super precise on. The key thing is just getting it on there. And then before you mount it, the thing you can test, I want to show you just one other scenario you may run into when you're putting your drums, is if the drum goes to the bottom, because sometimes the bore is slightly looser, I got to raise it up till I can line up my set screw. So I just lifted it up, and now you can see in the handle here, I might look down here, you can see my Allen wrench is right kind of in the center, and then I've tightened it up. And that's really what's setting your height of this. I had to lift it up so that it would actually line up correctly, and then I'm just gonna rotate around here until I feel my next set screw. There it is. And then I'm gonna feel and get myself in that hole and tighten up too. Like I said, I'm not crushing this when I tighten it up. I'm just going snug, because you got really no mass on this thing on the shaft. I mean, it's a freaking drum that's turning on a motor shaft. There's really no big magic to it. Now, you may be wondering, why are we doing this? Why are we shipping it this way? Well, here's the reason. If you look here on this machine, I got a motor shaft, I got this center drum here that's spinning, and when I ship this via UPS or FedEx, we only ship UPS, if this is in a box and the UPS truck driver throws it off the back of the truck, what happens is that weight of this shaft, even though we put spacers in here, still risk bending the shaft of the motor. We've not had a lot of it happening, but probably in the course of I think we've probably sold 800, 900,000 of these things. We've probably had about, 1 or 2% of the ones get the motor shaft bent. I had one customer that just ordered the second one, both of his units bent. So it's the same driver throwing out of the truck. So we'd much rather you have some limited assembly by putting the drum in yourself, so that your unit arrives to you and it doesn't vibrate. Because if the motor shaft gets bent, then what happens is it acts as a vibrator. And that's the #1 challenge with the EverClean, is shipping it, is the abuse from the truckers. So you'll get the drum part of this separate in a separate box, and that's the only assembly you'll need to do, is just to put them together like that. Hey, thanks for watching today. If you like what you see, click the like button. Subscribe if you want to get more videos like this, and down below in the description you'll find a link that goes to our website. It goes to also what we showed you today, more information about that, and leave comments. If there's things that you like, if there's things that you want us to do more on, if there's videos that you want us to shoot that we haven't shot, we're very open to that. We're really looking for ways to help you be successful in your endeavors with the tools and technologies that we create, as well as any other aspect of the hobby.